Good day, everybody. Jason won't learn to survive. You ask anybody, is there such thing as a perfect knife? You're going to get many different answers. You're going to get answers that, yeah, you get this knife or this brand, or you got to have this steel or that steel, and that's got to have these bells and whistles and these options and this and that to make the perfect knife. Growing up in the woods, in my experience, and talking to other people that spent a lot of time in the wild, spent a lot of time doing bushcraft and hunting and everything else, and discussing knives, I've come to the conclusion that a knife needs to be 10 inches long overall and a 5-inch blade. And the reason I came up with these numbers is a 5-inch blade is not so big that you can't do fine work with it, but not so small that you really can't do anything with it. Now we go into different types of steels, that's all another story. But I think for me, and maybe for you after I go through this, I've found the perfect knife. Now I've owned this knife before. I got it when it first came out about midway through the first year of production. And they did make a change to it, and I will talk about that. And I will tell you if there's any benefit to that change or not. This knife, there's videos on YouTube of it being tested and torture tested and everything else. But the real test is this knife is issued to the U.S. military. And its original configuration and the configuration now. And it seems like the soldiers really do like this knife. The knife I am talking about is the Gerber Strongarm. You've probably already seen videos on this. You've got a 4.8 inch high carbon steel 420 blade. And we'll talk about that because that's the change they made. You got a glass-filled nylon handle, nice rubber overmold with this diamond checkering, and the contour of the grip fits the hand nicely. It feels real good in the hand. You've got this bone breaker, glass breaker back here with a lanyard hole. This is a full tang USA made knife. It is 9.8 inches overall, weighs 10.9 ounces with the sheath and the mounting options, weighs 7.10 ounces by itself, just the knife, and it's got this thermal kydex sheath. Is there any changes that I could make to this knife if I could contact Gerber and talk to somebody? Yes, there is. That change would be this glass breaker, bone breaker. On a knife like this, I find this very much a novelty item. If you got this knife on your side, you got your seatbelt on, and you need to get it out to break glass, you're going to struggle. I'd rather have a dash mounted, support mounted, something mounted somewhere safe and stable that I could get to in any vehicle, separate glass breaker. Now this, is it functional? Yeah. If I'm walking down the street and I come across a wreck, I can take that glass breaker and do it. But then again, at the same time, I can also use my tip, and if there's damage the tip or mess up the knife in any way, you can still turn it in to the insurance company, have the people turn it in, and get it on their auto insurance because the knife was damaged, and rescuing somebody. But I'd have that removed. And to replace that, I'd like to see the hammer pommel that they're putting on the Bear's Guile survival knife. I'm not a big fan of that knife, but I do like that hammer pommel it has because it can be used for a lot of things like cracking open a nut, hammering a tent stake, or hammering a piece of wood in the ground for a tent stake, even hammering in a small nail, and other things I can't discuss here on YouTube. Now, the blade. We got a nice thick blade, 420 high carbon steel. The early production of these knives were Sandvik steel. That Sandvik steel was also used in the LMF and the Prodigy. They changed over to this 420 high carbon steel. And I know a lot of you are thinking, well, it's 420 high carbon steel. That's okay for a cheap pocket knife, but it's not something you want in a survival knife. Gerber come up with a process where before they heat treated the knife, they hardened it to between 50 and 55 on the Rockwell scale. Then they used a proprietary heat treatment, which caused the 420 stainless steel to become relatively hard. So it holds a good edge, and it holds the edge for a while, and it has hardness. It's not going to dull out quick, it's not going to chip easy, and it's not going to break easy. The benefits of this is you've got the strength of some of the higher steels, and you have the ease of sharpening. It's going to be easier to sharpen than, say, like D2 tool steel or some of the higher quality, higher price steels. Is it going to be as easy to sharpen as regular, just plain old cheap pocket knife 420 steel? No. But you ain't going to need any specialized sharpening stones. You're going to be able to use just an ordinary, everyday whetstone, a diamond stone. You can even use a rock that's been in the lake and smoothed down, um, and sharpen it. It's going to take a little more work than just the plain old 420 high carbon steel because of the heating process and everything they've done to it, but it's a really strong blade. And I would like to add, this knife is carried by the U.S. military. It's been in combat over in Iraq and Afghanistan for years. So that's the ultimate test right there. Now, this has multiple mounting options. Okay. First one is your belt hanger. It's going to go through here, and you just got that little space where it snaps. So that's sitting right up against that plastic. It's not offering much room there. And then it just flips over and snaps like that. Pop your knife in. You've got this handle strap to help secure it, which is useless because the sheath itself holds in this knife and it locks it in. It's not coming out. This belting mount is the flaw in this knife. You've got that play right there, and because of the weight of the knife, it does cause it to unsnap very easily. And there's a fix for that. And even if you do that, it's a real simple, cheap fix. Even if you do that, you still got this wiggle room here because this is loose here at the top. You can see the gap there in between. So it wiggles around. Even if you put paracord in here and tie it down to your leg, it's still going to have quite a bit of wiggle. Fortunately, there are other mounting options, and one of the mounting options is the main reason I bought this knife. So we're going to take that off. We're going to throw that aside. Your second mounting option involves this little bar and these brackets back here. If you have a plate carrier, you have a military type bag with MOLLE webbing on it, you put that on, you run this little bar through there, and it's going to secure it to your MOLLE. So if you got a plate carrier, you can mount it up here like this. You can mount it upside down for a straight down pull. And the third mounting option, and this is my favorite and main reason that I originally bought this knife back in 2015, involves this little plate. This little plate is going to go on like that. Take your little locking stick and put it in there. This gives you a horizontal carry option. So you can carry it like this on your side, which a lot of people do that. It's on your side, so you have a straight out pull. I don't care for that. I like small of the back carry on this. Mainly a personal preference, because when I do carry my firearm, it's in the small of my back. And I'm just used to having something back there. But living in a small town, I don't always need to carry it. But I like to always carry a knife with me, not only for protection, but for everyday tasks that may require a knife. If Gerber would take that glass breaker off and put that hammer pommel on, and look at the videos on YouTube at what some guys did to build a mounting option that replaces this, uses that little stick design that goes through there, and makes a far superior belt mount option for this knife, this would be the perfect knife. As far as I'm concerned, it's as close as perfect as you can get in this price range. This knife is trusted and used by the U.S. military. It has seen many years of combat use in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's been torture tested thousands of times on YouTube and has held up. That is the most important thing. You would be hard pressed to find another knife that has been tested, been put into combat situations, and does everything this knife can do with the edge retention and the blade hardness it has in this price range. To even get close to what this knife is, you're looking at $150 or more easily. With that in mind, I highly recommend this knife. If you want a good fixed blade that is strong and has many uses, from a camp knife, hunting knife, bushcraft knife, survival knife, and fighting knife, this is it. You'll be hard pressed to find anything in that price range that has the quality, the durability, and the function of the Gerber Strongarm. With that being said, I'm going to close out this video. I will talk to you guys later. Take care of yourself. Take care of one another. And remember, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe, click the thumbs up button, and ring the bell so you'll be notified when I have new videos out. Take care of yourself. Take care of one another. I will talk to y'all later.